Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Altcoin Mentors YouTube channel. My name is Peter, and today I'm going to be doing our weekly technical analysis of the crypto market that we follow. Our main goal here at Altcoin Mentors is to help as many people as possible achieve their goal of financial freedom, and we believe trading cryptocurrencies is an opportunity of a lifetime. By the end of this video, you should have a better understanding of where the crypto markets, Bitcoin, Ether, EOS, Monero, Icon, Enigma, ZRX, Zcoin, Link, and BitShares are going in the near term and long term future. If you like our videos, please follow us on Twitter and on Telegram. We also have a model portfolio, so you can follow us for our 2K 5X challenge, where I try to turn $2,000 worth of Bitcoin into $10,000. If you'd like to be notified of our latest videos, please follow us and hit the bell button. All right, let's get started. So this is Bitcoin on a weekly basis. So as I said last week, Bitcoin is on a downtrend. So the short-term, medium-term, and long-term wave trends are all negative for Bitcoin. So let's look at it on a daily basis. So only for the last couple of days have we had a couple of up bars for Bitcoin. Once again, it hit 6,000, 5,900 area, and then it bounced off, and now it's kind of in the middle. So just like what I tweeted out yesterday, it's in the range, right? So over the last week, that's what I called. So if you follow us on our videos, if you watch our videos from last week, I said that we were on a downtrend. Our targets are around 5,900, and then we might be in a range, because that's what we were in over here. So things tend to repeat itself. So I don't know how long it's going to be in this range for. Last time it was in this range for about a month. But I'm not really, I don't really care about that, because what I'm really looking for is how to trade when I'm inside the range. So that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. So what you have to do is you can't look at a higher time frame, because on a higher time frame it's hard to trade the range. So what I tell people to do is that you need to split the range into quadrants, and then figure out where you want to go. And just like I said on Twitter, you have to be able to take smaller profits. So one of the things I try to do every day as a trader is I try to get excited about working. So I have this quote. It's create a vision that makes you want to jump out of bed in the morning. That's what I try to do. So what I talk about is what I tweeted out the other day. Right, is that if you are playing Bitcoin, right, what you have to do is you have to scalp only. So I tweeted this out yesterday. It says, good morning, everyone. Bitcoin, does this look familiar? And this is talking about the range from before. Same as it ever was. Still in a range. Scalps only in the range. Because the idea really is that, you can't only just make money out of a breakout. So if it breaks out over here, breaks out over here, breaks down over here. But how do you make money over here in this range? So for the next month, if it stays in and repeats this pattern, how are you going to make money? If you can only make money on the breakouts, what's going to happen is that you're going to try to go up here and maybe take a small little profit, or maybe even a loser if you head down. So the great example is this. So if you were playing this downtrend here and you said, oh, it looks like it's going to go back down, I'm going to play it back up to here, and then you catch it a little bit late. So you catch it around 6,300, and then now you have a loser on your hands, right? So that's the understanding, is that what if it doesn't break out? What if it takes a long time? What if it channels? So if you can only make money, if you get in here and you can only make money at 6,000 or 5,900, right, that is a bad trade. In your setups, always try to look for a 2-to-1 ratio, right? 2 times as much profit as your potential loss. Let's go towards Ether. Ether has been one of my good trades recently. So what I said before was that it was in a range for a long time, for well over a month. So if you look at it here, since the middle of June all the way to August, it was in a range. I said if it breaks out of this range, it could be in trouble. So I shorted at this range here. I was a little bit careful around major support at 383, but then it broke through it right away. And then I finally took profits at 264. The reason why was because my target was 239, right, 240 area. So as it was going lower and lower and lower, what I did was I just trailed a little bit tighter, because I don't want to give up that much profit, because you don't know what's going to do when it swings back up. Just like it did over here, I trailed it tight, but fortunately for me, it broke through. Right here, it didn't. So let's look at what's been happening. So here, because there's no lines, right, we're stuck between a major resistance point here, major support over here. So the range is pretty big, basically 383 until 240. So eventually there'll be a new support resistance line. It looks like it might happen right here. So I will call it right now, right here. So right at where we're at now, I think around 305 area. It's not going to be a major line, but it might be a like a short-term resistance point around 305. So here, if you look at it, what happens is that as it's going down, it hits around this 305 level. It bounces back up, goes back down, and then look what happens up here. As it's going higher and higher, it hits the same level. So that's how I draw support and resistance, right? Because it has to hit it multiple times. So I like to see it hit it a few more times before I get really comfortable with this line. But I'll put this line in here because I have nothing in between, and it could be really big. So, can it range between here and here, or can it range between here and here? And that's what I'm thinking about now. But right now, the trend is to the downside. So all I'm doing is, if I do take a trade on Ether, it will be as a scalp until it breaks 240. Because once it breaks 240, it has room to go to the downside. So take a look at that. So if it breaks 240 here, it can go all the way down to 140, and then 45, and then 15, and then 945. Those are the targets to the downside. So look at EOS. EOS, same thing, just like a lot of the other altcoins out there. I called it last week and months before, is that we are in a down cycle. So same thing with EOS here. We've been in a range. Once it broke out of the range, it started to go down, broke through major support, and now it's basically channeling in between a medium support line and a resistance line, $5.55 to $4. So it can channel over here for a while. So let's look at it on a medium time frame. You can see what it's been doing here. So it got pretty close to this area here. 414 was the low. So now it's kind of in between. It's right at the 50 on that one. Let's zoom out a little bit. So here it's slightly going up, but until it really breaks this level here, I wouldn't go long because all of the trends are going to the downside. So look at Monero. Monero, same thing on a daily. It's a negative, negative, negative. So see what it did here. It bounced right off of a resistance point here. Boom. Right. It's got stuck here. I was thinking about shorting it here, but it never confirmed to the downside. I did take a scalp, and it turned into a loser. Right. But I kept it really tight. So I'll talk about that in a little bit. So now it's right off of support, but I'm not going to go long. I'm waiting for another short opportunity. So I'll talk about my last trade. So here was my last trade on Monero, because what I do like to see is I like to see it go down. I didn't catch this move to the downside, so I waited for another downward signal. I caught it right here, right at about the 82.50. It came down, and then I was playing it a little bit not loose because it was a little bit lower. So, but I did end up taking a small little loss, like 50-cent loss, not that big because I did have a little bit of a trailer on it. But this is something that's a little bit disappointing because I could have made a little bit of money. Right, but I wasn't willing to take it because it was with the trend and everything looked right, and I thought it might do something like EOS and Ether. So that is my fault. It's not a setup fault because I could have trailed a little bit tighter. If I had trailed a little bit tighter, what would have happened is that at worst, right, I should have broken even on this trade. Instead of having a small loser, that is my fault. I should have had a break even instead of a loser. So look at Icon. So Icon has been going down. It's been getting pretty much hammered. Someone asked me about this at the end of July. I compared it to Detroit. And if you took my advice there and didn't touch it, right, you would have saved yourself 50%. That's basically what happened in the last 3 weeks. It's gone down 50%. So it had a little bit of a hiccup over here on the way up, but that was it. Only 2 days worth of up move, and the rest has been down. So if you look at it here, you can see it. It's just been going down, down, down. It's been almost a straight shot. Right down. So it doesn't look pretty good. So let's look at Enigma. So I wrote up a little something for someone before on Enigma. Someone asked me about it in the middle of July. They said that if it bounces up off of the support line here, it looks really cheap. Should they go long? Like, would I go long? And I told them, if I did go long, right? And I didn't. I said, if you go long, you have to have this be a scalp. right? And the area that it might go into is this yellow range over here, right over here. And that's what it did. It went right into the lower third quadrant of it, and then it just got hammered all the way down. That's the key. You have to know where the entries are, what the trend is. If you're going against the trend, you have to understand that you might take a loser, right? Most likely. So you have to be able to take a smaller loser. If you hold on to your guts and say, "Oh, this is too cheap. I think it's gonna rally back," that's when it turns up into a big loser, and that's what would have happened if you had held on to Enigma, if you had gone long. So here, the reason why you want to, you don't want to hold on to ideas too tightly was because you want to be able to pivot, right, do a 180 in the opposite direction, right? So these are the circles I'm talking about here. I'll show them to you. Because if you didn't have a belief that Enigma was too cheap and it would go down, what it would do is it would give you an opportunity to go short, right over here, right? So over here, what you could have done is, as it breaks through here, because this is one of my favorites, right? As it breaks through support, bounces, hits support, and then bounces and makes a new low, that would be a very good entry. It did that twice, and it can go a little bit lower. So you could short Enigma on a couple of other exchanges, some of the smaller exchanges, and maybe you could have made a little bit of money. I don't know how much the volumes are, right? But that's where an opportunity could have come in. So look at the ZRX. So ZRX, I said it needs a new higher high to confirm a wave up. I wrote this a long time ago, back in June, and it hasn't done that. It's been basically, in a big range, which is great if you want to trade. The only problem with ZRX is that there's not a lot of volume. So if you want to trade this thing, it's not like you can go in like with Bitcoin, and you can go with a ton of money, right? So that's the problem with ZRX, and it's hard, and you can only go up anyway. So we'll see what happens. So let's look at the Zcoin. Zcoin's on its way down. It has been getting hurt on a daily basis. It came up nicely to support. So here, this is what I would like to see, right? Just for people who are thinking about going long. See how it hits support here? And it bounces up. That's what I'm looking for. So if you miss the opportunity here, you can expect it to go up. You can only buy it on the upswing up here. So even here, if it breaks resistance up here, you can't go long, right? What I'd like to see is to go up, hit support, and then start to go back up, and then you only go up on the curl back up, right? You don't go when it hits here, because if you do, then it could be what happened with, I'll give you an example with EOS over here, because EOS hit support over here at 555, right? And people were waiting for it, and I know people who went long at 555. They got hurt. So you have to ask yourself, so you can't just buy the dip, right? You have to be able to wait for the bounce, a little bit. So that's what I'd like to see happen with Zcoin over here. So let's look at the Link. So this is a Chainlink. Chainlink is one of the only few that have been going a little bit higher. So what I did was, if you follow us on Twitter, I talked about this range over here at 4765, that this is resistance up to the top. So if you look at it on a shorter time frame, right, you can see what has happened over here. Every time it's come close, it's been hammered back down. So if you are buying the bounce here and the curl back up, which is a smart play, right, you have to be careful up at the top over here and just take profits. And then same thing, if it breaks, right, you wait for it to break, hit support, and only go long back on the curl. So let's look at the BitShares. So BitShares has been going down for a long time. Is right at major support. So same thing here. If I was to go long, right, and find it very cheap, I'd have to wait for it to break, go hit, and then go back up. So unfortunately, that's the last of our technical analysis. One of the coins that we're looking at, RLC ICX, right, we are no longer following it because on a fundamental basis, it doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Just our perspective and just our opinions. So hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to our channel and follow us on Twitter and on Telegram. Thank you very much for watching. If you like our videos, please share it with your friends and other crypto traders. If If you have any questions, please ask away in the comment section below. We do a very good job of answering all of our comments and questions right away. Thank you again for watching, and see you in our next video.